Hi, I'm Adelina Tancioco, the founder and CEO of Surrendered Healing. Today, I'm here to talk to you about how to move past the imposter syndrome. Let's take a moment to just dive in. Why is the imposter syndrome even a thing, right? Why does it even matter? How does it affect us? So, the truth about the imposter syndrome is that everybody experiences it on their way of growing. Everyone experiences it. If you look up any successful person in their field, any star or even famous person, trust that you will find a story of an imposter syndrome, a story where they thought that they couldn't do it. They thought that they were a fraud. They thought that they would be found out, right? And with that said, it's even louder for women of color. And why that is because the world teaches us that we can't have it all, that we have to wait and take care of everyone and everything else before we can even begin to imagine that our dreams can come true. The world teaches us that we don't have a place at the table, that we cannot have a voice for what really matters to us, that we have to leave who we are at the door and then code switch to come in and have any type of success. That's what the world says. And so it's even more important for us as women of color to move past the imposter syndrome. Because here's the deal, y'all. The world needs our healing. The world needs the gifts that we have in order for the transformation of the world to continue on a positive route. So, what does that look like? It looks like, first and foremost, noticing when you're having an imposter syndrome moment. What is an imposter syndrome moment? An imposter syndrome moment is when you are thinking that you don't deserve the goodness, the success that's coming your way. It's when you're feeling like you're going to be found out about. It's when you're feeling like you're a fraud. It's when you're laughing at the idea that someone would pay you for your skill set, pay you for your time, right? Pay you for your service. Or it's the idea of not believing that you can have it all, not believing that you can have the time freedom, the money freedom, the health that you would love to have. First and foremost, you want to be able to notice that it's an imposter syndrome moment. Once you name it, then you can move past it. All right. So number one, you want to remember that the imposter syndrome is based in ego. What do I mean by that? The imposter syndrome is a breakdown of your self-confidence, right? It's a low self-esteem moment. It's telling you that you don't deserve it. It's telling you you're not worthy. It's telling you that there's no way that this is actually happening to you. So it's messing with your ego, and it's tapping into your ego is a better way to look at it. Why I share that is so often the techniques that are out there of how to move past the imposter syndrome are about, being proud of yourself, remembering what you accomplished, and remembering that you are deserving and you are worthy. And while that's important, it's not a long-term solution. And that's because it's still talking to your ego. It's still saying, remember what you've done. Be proud of yourself. Remember who you are. And that's important, but it's not going to help you move past the imposter syndrome fully. And it will be more of a band-aid fix. So then the question is, what can I do to truly move past the imposter syndrome? Instead of feeding your ego, feed your faith, feed your spirit. Okay. So right now, just take a moment and write down one thing that you're having imposter syndrome around, whether that's time freedom, money freedom, health, relationships, your career, whatever the case is, write that down. And I know you have one because I know because you're breathing. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to feed your spirit. How do you do that? You do that by remembering that this is happening because you are on your path of your unique calling. So abundance is coming your way because you're in alignment with your calling. Okay. And abundance needs to come your way so that you can continue your calling, continue to serve whatever your calling is. you're serving. When we're in our calling, we're serving, whether you're a chef, whether you're a coach, whether you're a therapist, whether you're a teacher, an accountant, a lawyer, a doctor, okay? You're serving other people in your role, in your calling. And so you want to remember that it's not about you, it's about your calling. And it's even more than about your calling. It's about the people waiting for you to step even more into your gifts so that they can be served. Because here's the beautiful thing, our gifts are tied up with other people's gifts and other people's paths, right? So you step in and you remember, oh, this is a part of my calling. That's why I'm experiencing this abundance. Oh, I'm being called to speak here because there's someone in the audience that will be there that needs to hear what I have to say, who will resonate with my story. That spirit put right there so that they can be inspired for their calling. I need to step up to the plate because I'm called to. And letting go of this idea that you're not qualified, because spirit doesn't call the qualified. Spirit qualifies the called. And write that down right now. Write that down, that I am here because I am on my path. My calling is putting me here. My calling is giving me this time freedom, giving me this exposure, giving me this published book. My calling is asking me to step up because there are people for me to serve. You want to remember that you are not here only because of you. Yes, you made sacrifices. Yes, you've worked hard. And you're also here because of the sacrifices that your ancestors made for you to be here. And these could be ancestors that are still alive. These could be your older siblings. They could be your parents. They could be your grandparents. They could be your aunties and uncles or family friends that help babysit you, right? You can go as far back as, oh, it's because of the doctor that helped deliver me or the midwife, right? I am here today because other people sacrificed and stepped into their calling and their way of giving to the world so that I can be here today. So for a moment right now, think of a story of an ancestor who was resilient and moved past hardship. And remember that you are here because of them. And so again, it just helps you release the ego, because you're feeding spirit as you recognize and acknowledge your ancestors as a part of your success, as a part of your path. And then the last way that I'll be talking about with you today is a very simple practice, and yet so profound. It's something that I learned from one of my healers, Shell Ann, and she teaches that we can tap and connect with our ancestors with a simple conscious breath. A conscious breath where we acknowledge that not everyone is breathing today, that our ancestors are not breathing today, that other people didn't wake up today that we don't even know. But we woke up today and we have a breath to breathe because we have more to do with our life, not to repeat yesterday, but to live a brand new day today and a brand new moment in this moment of breath. So I invite you right here, right now, go ahead and take a deep breath in with me, a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Placing your hand on your heart, feeling your heartbeat. Inviting you to smile right here, knowing and trusting that you are deserving, you are worthy, and you are supposed to be here. Whatever here is, at whatever table that is for you that you're sitting at, whatever presentation that you're doing, whatever level of income that you're receiving, whatever level of freedom that you're experiencing, that it is meant to be and it is yours. Bring your hands to prayer, opening your eyes if you haven't already. And so it is. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope that even if just one thing resonated, that you feel served by today's conversation.